Hello, everyone. My name is Ro Malabanan. My full name is Ramel, but I shortened it to Ro, to AKA Ro the Show. Yeah, so just a little bit about myself. I was born in Lucena City, Philippines. I grew up in New York City since I was 9. Typical immigrant family. Mom was a nurse, father worked in a hotel, and I just gravitated to the world of fighting, so to speak. So what I do in, I guess, as a profession is I'm a private martial arts instructor, and I also teach Jiu-Jitsu at a gym called Counter Martial Arts. So my background as far as competition is concerned, I got into boxing in late 20s. I've been an entrepreneur pretty much most of my life, and I found that there were some parallels with boxing and martial arts with the business world. So I kind of gravitated to that. And the recession of 2008 decimated my businesses. So I kind of had to restart my career, my business all over again in Manhattan, New York. And ever since then, I've been I started from nothing and I worked my way, I guess, to the top levels of, being able to work with amateur fighters, professional fighters, models, actors, supermodels, and everyone in between.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
More impressive what you've done in the past week, right? Or
Yeah.
can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I forget that I was like, I'm also like a new actor.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. So just like trying to use my martial arts to the screen, so to speak, to represent the Asian community. Yeah, it's been a wild week. So what happened was it was Wednesday when it occurred. So what's today, Monday, maybe like five days ago. Minding my own business on my way to work. The R train, or the N train, I should say, in the MTA in New York City was running behind. I was running late for work already. Got up, was hurrying to work, and I noticed two gentlemen, two construction workers walking towards me, laughing and joking and minding their own business. And out of nowhere, a third person approached them from behind, and without any provocation, um, just sucker punches the guy from the side of the face from behind. So he just literally just punches him in the side of the face, fled off, and yeah. So I saw the whole thing, and I went to go check on to see how the construction worker was doing. Hey, how you doing? You okay? He said he was not okay because if you've ever been sucker punched, you're disoriented, and you don't know what's going on. A few seconds later, two gentlemen approached us and said, hey, you got hit too? And he said yes. And he said apparently this guy hit an older man and also a kid before he hit this construction worker. So these two guys were like, hey, we got to take care of this guy. So, my martial arts side starts kicking in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's take care of this problem. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, this guy's obviously hitting just anyone. So I could, I'm visualizing and thinking about my parents who's older, and how would you feel if like your mom, your kids get hit or whatever, just minding your own business. So we start going after him. I see him about a block away and I start running after him. And things were happening so fast. And in my mind, I was playing out what I needed to do to be able to subdue this person. And in my mind, I knew I didn't want to confront him, because if I confronted him, then
Real quick.
Yeah.
Is that part of the training that you had? You had to visualize it or tactically, is that something, or just instinct coming in?
I think it comes from instinct from my competition, and also just this isn't my first encounter with altercations in the streets of New York City. Just being an Asian American, just being the way I look, I I get harassed almost every single month. So over time, I kind of learned to navigate and deal, and also like having friends that are in the police officers, having friends that are criminal lawyers. I understand that there are legal repercussions and things to watch out for. So like I said, things were happening so bad, it just started to like all come into my mind, where it's like, yeah, if I confront this guy, it's going to be a street altercation, meaning, it's going to be a fist fight, or worse, he may have a knife, he may have a gun. So I just didn't want to deal with that, so to speak. But I didn't even have to, because as I approached him, my jiu-jitsu instincts just kicked in, my training, where I just like grabbed him, and he immediately tries to fling me off of him. And because of my training, I was able to use the momentum to bring him down to the ground very efficiently. And I was able to subdue him in, I would say, less than 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. And then during the struggle, I was able to use what's called the seatbelt positioning from jiu-jitsu. And that's not even like a move. It's more like it's just a way for me to control my opponent in order for me to transition to something better. In this situation, it would be like a choke. And it's funny because my jiu-jitsu training just kicked in. I was immediately going for the choke, and I was like, in my mind, like, oh, I got to let this go, because like, it's going to be an assault. And I just transitioned to his hands. And once again, I checked to see if he had any knives or razors in his hands, which he did not. And yeah, we were able to subdue him in under a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what, after that, you told me?
Yeah. So as I was pinning him down, things were happening so fast. There was a crowd that started gathering, and then all of a sudden, people just started kicking him. And I'm like, whoa, stop. So I didn't realize that before this gentleman, I thought he only hit an older man and a kid, but apparently he went on a assault spree. So he assaulted 6 people prior to me getting to this, prior to him attacking this construction worker.
Right.
So people were kind of frustrated, I guess. They were trying to take it out on him, but I said, like, look, don't do that, because it's going to turn worse. And then I said, you call the cops. And, after that, we were able to just like wait for the police to come.
How long did you have to wait for the police?
Total, this whole situation, this from start to finish, I believe it's maybe a little bit less than 10 minutes.
Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Police on the foot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's amazing that you told, and you were still compassionate about the person after what he did. And I know you thought it was going to get worse if they kept on doing it. But what made you, think of that, not to let them take
I mean, that's a great question. I just think that, I live very, I'm surrounded by violence, so I'm kind of used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this is the real world. You know what I'm saying? It's like there are repercussions for people. So they may or may not know that for themselves. However, I just knew that if I didn't stop them, it probably could have gotten worse. I mean, I'm already on top of him. It could be like that. It was like we assaulted him. You know what I mean? So all of us. So in a way, I was thinking about them, but at the same time, I was thinking about me. I didn't want it to seem like it was an assault on our part. When in reality, what we were trying to do was really just stop a bad person from being more of a menace to society.
And so how is the community around you? How's they gonna make sure that they prevent this person from doing this? Is there, you feel that there's going to be some sort of treatment for him, or what kind of?
I mean, honestly, I don't know from my understanding, when somebody does something bad, I'm assuming that they're going to go to jail, right? Mm-hmm. But from my understanding, that's not the case sometimes in New York City. I don't know the laws and so on. For all I know, this guy could have been bailed, or he gotten out already, maybe within under 24 hours.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, because those things are very concerning, because he might come in and retaliate or something to that nature. We don't know how people react. When those
absolutely.
kind of things.
Well, I'm just hoping that he will think twice now. From he just like I hope that me stopping him and people coming together and helping to stop him, he's going to think twice before he starts swinging on people, because he may or may not have been mentally ill. Because while I was pitting him down to the ground, he was saying, people were bumping into him. That's why he started punching them. But I'm like, even still, like you still don't punch people in the face for no reason,
Right.
because bumping into someone is not a good reason.
Right. Absolutely. If you have
Yeah.
a right state of mind.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
So
So how has it been so far after all of this had happened?
I mean, it's been 5 days. So the only thing that's really changed in my life has been the overwhelming support and the overwhelming gratitude that I've been receiving from from New Yorkers, and especially the Asian community. And the reason I say that is because most of the time you see that it's usually ever since 2020, since COVID-19, I believe that the Asian hate has risen. The AAPI community has suffered, and normally you would see that an Asian person is either getting beat up or slashed. This morning, I just saw it on my feed, which is like an elderly Asian woman was just cut, without any provocation again, with a box cutter. I mean, so normally that's the rhetoric that we're hearing as far as the news is concerned. But I think what's happening with me stepping up like this and just being an Asian person, man, I think I provided a lot of hope and a lot of I guess light for some people, because it's been grim, honestly. I mean, being an Asian man in New York City, it has not been easy. It really has not. Yeah. Like I said, I get harassed at least once a month based on just my race, based on just the way I look. And fortunately, I do know how to handle myself. However, I do feel for the people that may or may not have had the training or the experience that I have in these types of circumstances.
I know this is probably a little bit too early, but is there a lot of people coming up to you for advice, and not just advice, but also training?
A little bit of both, yes. As far as advice is concerned, I believe that as far as advices that I can provide for people, is that what you're asking me to give right now, or just in general?
In general, like, has
Okay.
people been asking you for advice, or what advice would you give them?
Yes, people have been asking for advice, and my advice is kind of the same. I've been preaching this for a while on my Instagram, which is, if you have the opportunity to get out of the situation, get out of there, because an ounce of prevention is better than a bottle of medicine. For example, it's kind of like driving, right? I mean, I don't drive now because I live in New York City, but when I do, I just know that I don't have to worry about myself. I have to worry about other people, so that means I have to pay attention. Are people moving a little bit funny around me? Is there a crazy person at the end of the train? And is there an opportunity for me to move to a different car? Am I on my cell phone and not paying attention to my surroundings, where somebody could just easily either grab my phone or sucker punch me, or worse? So these are some things that we can take steps towards in preventing anything from happening, because most people that are targeting people are looking for people that are not paying attention. They look like a target, and I don't know what the description of a target is, but I would assume that it's someone that's just like not paying attention. You're alone you're in a place where you shouldn't be, and you're not cognizant about your surroundings.
Definitely, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the training part? Has people?
Yeah. So the question I always get is like, what kind of training should one take in order for them to be able to defend themselves? And frankly speaking, you don't have to train jiu-jitsu. You don't have to train boxing. You don't have to train Muay Thai. You have to just do something. And what I mean by that is, even if you're exercising, that just gives you that competitive advantage because you're strong. But if you do decide to take on some sort of like self-defense or martial arts, yeah, definitely. There's so many martial arts schools all over the United States. And like I said, it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. It could be like karate. It could be taekwondo. It could be anything. But obviously, I box, I do jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling are some really, really kind of like mixed martial arts. So these are very, very strong martial arts skills that you could learn to be able to defend yourself. And what's great about that is what's great about martial arts, in my opinion, is that it's not the physical side about it. It's who you're becoming inside. And what I mean by that is it provides you with confidence. It provides you with just like this level of security because you know what you're capable of doing. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but even, you know, living in a crazy place like New York City right now, yeah. I'm very confident in my abilities, and I'm very confident that if anything goes down, I can prepare. I'm prepared for it because I've been doing it pretty much all my life.
Yeah, inside you feel or you have the edge of anyone to come across you because of several scenarios that you were trained to combat yourself or to defend yourself, right?
Yeah, and having a skill set is one thing, but also like in New York City, you just got to know how to like walk the walk and talk the talk. It's so kind of like, it's called street smarts,
right,
so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah,
that's it's a plus as well. So.
Yeah, tremendous.
Yeah. So where do you go from here now? I mean, do you get a little bit worried, you know, because, you know, a lot of people seeing you in the news and things like that, and you feel that you could be, you know, kind of maybe, I don't know, maybe that person is looking again to strike or something. I'm just asking these questions. So just your mindset towards it. So.
There's definitely a sense of responsibility. Mm-hmm. Being a teacher, you already have a responsibility. Being a jiu-jitsu black belt, you have a certain responsibility, especially in how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, because people are looking to you as I guess, a leader within a certain demographic or community. And having been an entrepreneur all my life, and people that I train, they kind of look to me for that. So it is another, I'm looking at it as like, I'm just trying to become a good representative for the Asian community. And I'm not going to change. I'm just who I am. I'm, you know, I'm a strong, Filipino in the sense of like being a strong Asian. I'm very proud to be an Asian person. And also at the same time, you know, like I want to represent and portray the Asian American men in a strong and positive light, like I said, because like I said, it's most of the time, it's like in Hollywood and in the news is, again, you always usually just see the Asian men being emasculated as the weak person, or I don't know, what are we usually portrayed as? We're the villains or something like that. So I'm trying to, you know, change the rhetoric just from my actions. And in the world of fighting, you know, you can't fake it. You kind of just have to, the equalizer is like sparring. It's like you're either about it or you're not about it, and people will know immediately. In jiu-jitsu, the mats don't lie, so to speak. So if you're putting in time on the mats and you're walking your walk, then yeah, nobody can beat you, so to speak. But as far as representation is concerned, yeah, I'm totally all about it. I'm all about, I'm very pro-Asian. Amazing. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, very amazing. How difficult was it getting or being a black belt for the people that doesn't know how to get to that path?
Oh yeah, man. For those of you that don't understand jiu-jitsu or don't know anything about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, there's white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and then black belt. The average time frame to achieve a black belt is 10 to 12 years. And it's not like any other martial arts because it's probably one of the hardest martial arts to achieve your black belt. I received my black belt from Marcelo Garcia from Marcelo Garcia Academy in New York City. And it's probably one of the toughest schools around. I mean, there's a lot of tough schools, tough academy, but it's like full of sharks. There's a lot of world champions, a lot of Abu Dhabi world champions. So, just growing up or being around that surroundings pretty much for 10 to 11 years. Yeah, it really helps you. Like if you can get through that room and surviving that hour, man, it's like your confidence level just
I can imagine. I can imagine. Do you still keep in touch with those community that does that jiu-jitsu and have and
yeah,
also,
I mean, for the most part, I mean, social media keeps us, I guess, connected to some degree. I no longer train at Marcelo Garcia Academy. I moved on to a different art, which is judo, and I also teach judo at a gym called Kano Martial Arts, which is in the Fashion District in Manhattan. But boxing, it's such a small community. You'd be surprised. It's a very tight knit community. So yeah, I mean, we stay in communication via social media.
what about how did they feel? Did they get a chance to see you or
man, I mean, they're all very proud. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I did what I did, but I know people that would probably have like murked this guy in like less than 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You've probably done worse. Wow. Because there's a lot of guys out there that are really, really tough, especially in the jiu-jitsu community and MMA community. But like I said, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. So.
Wow. So you're saying that they probably pounced on him really bad. And
oh my gosh. I mean, all right. So look at it this way, right? So whenever you see on your phone or on TV, someone that was getting beat up, and like, how many times have you said, I wish I was there because I would have done this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's exactly what happened to me. It's just, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, but I'm no one special. I just did what I did because I saw that people were going to get hurt and there was a need, and it was a responsibility for me being a martial artist and also just being a New Yorker and being part of the community. Like, I mean, nobody wants to feel like they can't walk around. You know what I mean? Like, people are just minding their business. People are just trying to live. And I don't know where you're going to get sucker punched. Come on.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Not cool at all.
Yeah. And, it's amazing when I read the news about you and, you had all these accolades and then this person really messed with the wrong person or you're at the wrong time, you should have never done this. So he didn't know what it was coming to.
Yeah, it was either a serendipity or it was just like fate, because I always take the same train, and this is the first time it was actually like running late. Right. And I was flustered because like it was running late, but it was always on time. And then a few seconds earlier, a few seconds later, I would have definitely missed this guy, but it was just fate.
Well, you said you come across with different altercation, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What is so different about this than the other ones that you came across?
I think this one is because I actually saw him assault someone right in front of me. Previously, it's just usually they're just trying to get under my skin. The last one that I encountered is actually on my Instagram as well, which is like just a man just trying to make fun of Asian people. He was just making like a lot of Asian jokes, and I just wasn't having it, And I learned to, rather than just like confront them and interact with them in a very hostile way, I just learned to just like turn on my phone and just like put them on blast, so to speak, because it's like, it's happening to me a lot. So rather than me dealing with it, I wanted other people to see how I dealt with it, or as far as my students is concerned or my followers are concerned.
That's very smart, and also you're not trying to stoop to his level.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's not easy.
sometimes you get lowered in. Sometimes you get pulled into that, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, we really appreciate your time, bro. Again, that's really amazing what you did. To us, you're a hero. And to many, many more that's probably gonna see you in the news and things what you've done. And I hope people do learn a lesson from this, and also and they reach out to you so you could teach them how to combat this in the future, or they even go to your classes and things like that. That being said, if the community want to reach out to you, where can they reach to?
Yeah, thank you so much. Could I just make one clarification?
Absolutely.
So as far as a hero is concerned, I don't see myself as a hero.
I know.
Like I said, I'm just doing my part as a New Yorker, being part of a bigger collective community. We're all just trying to live, and I truly believe if you were there, Ed, I believe that you would have done the same thing. And that goes for everyone. As far as where you guys can reach me, I'm mostly active on Instagram. You can find me at Rothe Show, ROTHESHOW. It's usually it's my whole handle, even on TikTok, even though I'm not as active on TikTok because I can't figure out the TikTok dances. But I am more active on Instagram. So you can find me there. You can shoot me a DM and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. And I know you said you're also doing acting, right? So hopefully we see you in the big screen in the future.
Oh, let's go, man. I'm ready to go. Become like an Asian, what do you call that? A superhero here.
Absolutely. We'll campaign for you. So we appreciate you again for taking the time, bro. And be safe out there. And again, just thank you so much for taking the time and being yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Peace.